This October, I actually just experienced an amazing adventure in my life. However, with amazing adventures comes an opportunity of failure. See, a local youth pastor had designed and created his own mountain biking ministry. He would just invite his students to come along and just go mountain biking, just being in fellowship with one another. And so he had actually invited me to come along and just join the team, to join, see what's going on. And I've gone mountain biking before. I actually enjoy mountain biking. I went mountain biking in Indiana, and I've gone a couple times here in Radford, Virginia, where I live right now. See, mountain biking and a double black diamond is intense. It's not for the faint of heart. It's not for the novice. It's not for the people who just got on the bike and want to try mountain biking. This is an intense and hard course. Experts sometimes just walk the trail before they actually ride it. And there's this string that gets pulled as a guy that you say, you know what, I can do this. I don't need any practice. I remember when I was a young lad, we were given the opportunity in Boy Scouts to go on a 50-mile bike ride. Now there was also the 10 and 25, but who wants to go big? You want to do the 50-mile bike ride. Nobody wants to whimper out on that. So I did it. I did all 50 miles. I rode it all. Now, in the midst of that, everybody kept telling me, you need to train, Zach. You need to train 6 months in advance. I didn't do any training. I got on my bike and I went. That was probably the worst mistake I've ever made on my legs. My legs were hurting. My mind was hurting. I was crying inside. I was dying. But I completed the 50-mile bike ride. That was the worst thing I could have done to my legs. Up to this October. I'll be point blank with you. As a man, I want to say I completed that and just, it was no problem. But no, I came across so many problems. I had wiped out so many times. I ate the ground. My bike broke, as in the brakes came off. My chains got all messed up. It took me a while to figure out what was going on with my chains. My butt started to hurt. And it was just a painful experience. I walked my bike more than I rode my bike. I pretty much had a great hiking trip with a piece of metal that had wheels on it. There came a point in my mountain biking experience this past month where we were at a crossroads. You had to choose between taking the flat, easy route to a different parking lot and making the other people go up the other route, get to their parking lot, get the car, come to my parking lot and pick me up, or I finished the race. I finished the experience. Man, I'll tell you, my body was crying. My quads were locking up. I wanted to quit. I wanted to be done. I was so tired. But there's that one part of me that said, finish it. And I feel like that was the Holy Spirit. I feel like the Holy Spirit was telling me to finish it. No matter how ugly it's gonna look, you need to finish it. So instead of going through the beautiful flat path, I had to go up the trail that had a skull on it. But I finished the race. I finished the experience. And through that time, I was reminded of something. I was reminded when Paul was writing to Timothy. In 2 Timothy, it's known as his last known writing. And he's writing to Timothy. He was saying to Timothy, look, my time's up. I'm dying. Newsflash, everybody. We're all going to come to that point. That we're all going to grow old and fragile, and we just know that our time is up. And Paul is saying this. And he says right before that he's been poured out, and he knows that he has a righteousness, he has a crown waiting for him in heaven because he's doing God's work. But before he writes that, he writes in 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 7. I have fought the good fight. I have finished the race. I have kept the faith. When I was going up the last part and I passed my crossroads point and I just continued fighting for the race, continuing finishing the experience, I had to come to a realization that our faith is just like this mountain biking experience. We're gonna fall down, we're gonna eat the ground sometimes, things are gonna break, things aren't going to go right. There's going to be a storm. We're going to start losing daylight. There's going to be so many problems that happen in our lives, but we have to depend on God. We can't use the easy escape route. We can't use that. So here's my challenge to myself, to those who are listening. Are you going to finish the race? When you come to crossroads and it's asked, are you going to be a strong believer and stand up for something that's maybe in your way? Or are you going to avoid that altogether and just hope that your paths cross again? Why risk that? Because we don't know when we actually finish the race. We don't know when that time is coming. God is telling us to finish the race, to finish our experience. I want to finish my experience. I've got too much to lose if I don't finish the race. That is what God has been teaching me. How has God been moving in you?